I get that that's your mom and everything, but like, you going to the back, right?
No, absolutely not.
What? What are you talking about? I'm your wife. Are you serious right now?
Okay, calm down.
We gotta keep having these type of conversations. Every time I link up with your mother, is always a problem.
Cool.
I'm in his life now, so why are you still here?
I'm always gonna be
Okay,
here.
but go to the back fucking seat.
Babe,
I'm your
that's my
wife.
mom.
I'm your fucking wife.
And I love you.
This is my car. Why do I gotta?
Babe, I understand we went in this together, but babe, that's my mom. I haven't seen her since we grown up.
He came from
Go to
the
her.
back.
Go to my
I'll
car.
be in the front.
No, but every time she's around, you switch up.
Nah, I'm just saying.
Stop being a mama's boy.
I love you and I love her. I love both of
I
y'all.
don't give a fuck. Go to the back.
Babe,
Go to the back
babe,
seat.
Mom, please.
Go to the back seat. No, I'm so tired of this shit. Go to the
Babe,
back.
babe.
You could be his mother, cool, but go to the back.
I love both
Bitch,
of
I
y'all,
always got this.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Mood 24/7 and we are back with you guys today. I'm Raquel Mornings.
And I'm Jay Anthony.
And I'm Christina Danielle. Y'all already know what it is. And let's go ahead and get to it. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about wife versus mother. So I'm sure all of you have seen the video going around Twitter, Instagram, and everything where the young man is in the driver's seat, the wife is standing outside the car, and then the mom is in the passenger seat, and the wife is saying, "You need to get out." Da, 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 da. What do y'all think about that? Do you think in a case like that, do you think that the mother should have gotten in the back seat or that the wife should have gotten in the back seat? Because me personally, I think what should have happened was the husband got in the back seat, the wife drove, and then the mom stayed in the seat. Me personally, I feel like the husband was a punk for not really saying anything to either one of them, for letting his wife cuss his mom out, for letting his mama cuss his wife out. I feel like it was really all just a bunch of foolishness that the man of the relationship, he really should have handled. Yes. Good night. Good night.
The realist.
Going.
Yeah.
I'm weak. Well, I would say in that instance, I feel like it was just, even though your wife comes first, and I was always taught that, I felt like for the most part in that situation, it was very disrespectful to begin with. And even if he was the one to drive, I feel like baby girl should have just went on and got in that back seat because at the end of the day, that is his mother too. I mean, I get the wife comes first, but you fighting over the front seat.
I think it's more so of the principle, because I personally don't want to be married to a man that can't stand up to his mama and say, "Hey mama, this is my wife."
That is true.
You're not gonna disrespect her. You're not gonna talk to her any kind of way. If you can't protect me from your mama, you can't protect me from nothing. So that's what I'm gonna say.
This is
I
what
feel you.
I will say. Okay, so in my family, typically the oldest people always sit in the front seat, just as far as it goes for like grandmothers or whatever the case may be. So it wouldn't have bothered me that she was in the front seat. What bothered me was the back and forth action, like you guys were saying, just simply because of the fact that you're standing there, you're not saying anything. The biggest thing about that is, okay, here's the thing, and I'm going to say this across the board. We should all know our places. She's not your wife. In that case, I would be your wife. She is your mother. You are not her man. There's a complete difference. So there's a difference from respecting her and also letting her know, like, hey, mom, this is my life now. She's a part of my family. Like, I'm supposed to protect her, and you're putting it in a hard situation where you're gonna have to make me choose. And if I have to pick her over you, it's gonna hurt our relationship. So as far as it goes, to me, it wouldn't have been a big deal as far as the seating. That's not my issue. I don't care. Sit where you want to sit. I'll probably offer the front seat to you. That's not my issue. My issue is that, like, for some reason, somebody doesn't know their place. And I don't know if it was the simple fact that, like, you know, the wife and the mother have been beefing for a long time, and then this was just the build up or something like that. Like, I'm not really sure, like, the 100%, because I mean, it could be the daughter's been disrespectful this whole entire time. It could be, I mean, the daughter-in-law has been disrespectful the whole entire time. It could be the mother's been disrespectful the whole entire time. But someone in that triangle does not know their place, including the husband, because he should have squashed it from the get-go. So as far as it goes, like, everybody should know their place. I mean,
so who you feel wrong in the situation, if you could pick one?
Christina, you want to answer first?
Okay. I don't feel like the wife should have cussed the mama out, because there should be some sort of level of respect.
Because she got the calling out that B word.
But I will say that the mother was wrong in this situation. Because I feel like a lot of times what mothers of sons will do is, when that son gets in a relationship or gets married, that mother still wants to be that number one woman in that man's life. And when you get married, that's just not what it is. The Bible says a man leaves his mother and father for this reason. The reason is to go get his own family. So I do think that the mother was wrong, because she doesn't understand that your place is not as his number one woman anymore. Because let's be real, as mother, there are some things that you can do for him. You can still cook for your son. You can still clean for your son. But at the end of the day, it's one thing you can't never give that man that his wife is going to be able to give him, unless y'all want some incest in the family type stuff. There's one thing that you will never, ever, ever be able to give him. And for that reason alone, sis, you kind of got to understand. Now, I will say, like, if I was in that situation, I probably would have offered my mother-in-law the front seat, just because, like, it's not that deep. We all going to the same place.
Right.
But the fact that it was her car, the mother was being disrespectful, and she didn't even try to alleviate any of the tension. She was just like, I'm sitting in the front seat. This is where it is. I'm his mother. I'm going to be here. And then I feel like the biggest person who was wrong is the husband, because you're a punk. You're a punk. You're a punk.
He should have nipped all that in the bud.
All of it. He could have raised his voice an octave and shut it down, but he didn't.
Because and you could tell, old girl, the wife, is like comfortable with calling her out of her name. So
that is true.
Yeah, I would say he probably the biggest villain out of this, because you letting all this slide.
Literally.
Yeah. My thing is like, if you can't stand up and be like, hey ma, this is my girl, or hey, that's my mom that you're talking about. Yeah, or that's my mom that you're talking about. Like, listen, we need to pump some brakes. I know you don't feel comfortable, but we need to figure something out. This situation is really tricky. I mean, especially because I'm just doing by what I've seen versus what, like, I've experienced, because I haven't been married and I haven't been in the position to deal with an in-law like that. Like,
you pause for 1 second, Jordan. What are you doing?
What you mean? What am I doing?
What are you looking at?
I'm trying to figure out what you had going on.
I was looking at something on the ground. I'm sorry, kid. Keep going.
Y'all are too much. I can't. Y'all are hilarious today. But what I will say is, like, yeah, it's just, he needs to stand up, let something drop. I'm not gonna say what, but we can all fill in the blank for that. His toys, whatever you want to put there, let him drop. But it needs to be a clear definition, because as far as it goes, it's not. I mean, a front seat, that's fine. You can cook, that is fine. But when we do rules and financial stuff, nobody else needs to be involved except for me. Like, I'm gonna give you guys this example. I know it has nothing to do with, like, the mother situation, but it's another situation that's kind of close. In the movie Brown Sugar, love it. It's a throwback movie, 90s, great movie. One of the main characters, he ends up quitting his job, and he tells his best friend first, which is a girl, versus telling his wife first. And everyone was like, well, why is the wife upset? The reason why, as a wife, why I would be upset is because we together have to make that financial choice for you to be like, okay, yeah, now you can quit your job. Or hey, hang in there a couple more months and then we can figure something else out to have a B plan in order for you to quit your job. Don't just up and quit your job and be like, everything's cool and stuff like that. And then you want to tell somebody else before you tell me. And now I'm sitting here looking like, okay, so what are we going to do? Oh, no, I already figured it out. I talked to my friend.
Yeah.
You talked to who? Your friend isn't the one who's laying in the same bed, worrying about the same bills, the light bill, the water bill. If we have kids, worrying about the kids and how they're going to get to school, or worrying about how their school and tuition is going to be paid. It's not the same. So as far as it goes for that, when it comes to other situations like that, I think that's probably like what might have been the built up between the mother and the daughter. Not saying specifically financial things, but just certain choices, maybe how they were raising their kids, or maybe just certain decisions that they were making where she was like, no, honey, you need to do it like this. If the wife and the husband decide to do it one way, that's the wife and the husband. They have to learn on their own. It's not for anybody else to be like, no, that's wrong. Why'd you do it like blah, 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 blah. No. Nip it in the bud. No. Whatever y'all decide to do as a couple, whatever y'all decide to do as one, that's y'all's business.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's a good point.
Next.
I feel like I would have had to leave, baby boy. Because if you can't even protect me from your mama, like, because in my eyes, you would just be a punk by then. Like you would just be a punk to me. Like, how do you expect me to do the cooking, the cleaning, the bearing the children?
Cook it, clean.
Wash everything. To sit down, have sex with you when you want sex, give you a massage after a long day, do all the things that a wife is supposed to do, and you letting your mama treat me like I'm nothing? Come on now. I gotta go. I would have had to go. And y'all, I don't want a divorce for nothing. I already done said it. If I get divorced, somebody gonna die. That's just what it is. I'm gonna die, or he's gonna get killed, but something gonna happen. But if something like that would have happened. But I also feel like a situation like should have been handled before y'all even got married. Because if there was any animosity between them, that should have got handled before y'all even.
That's why I said, because she felt too comfortable just sliding that B word out of that mouth.
I feel like anybody, let me not say anybody older than me, anybody like 40 and above, I wouldn't feel comfortable like just outright being like, you be you. Da, da, da.
Exactly.
Right.
I just wouldn't. I mean, nobody. I would just, But if I'm arguing with somebody, closer in age, of course it's going to come out a little bit more comfortable. But I would have had to go, sis. I just can't do it. I can't do a punk. And I'm sorry, sir, if you ever see this, I'm not saying you a punk. I'm just saying you was punkish in that situation.
She's saying if the shoe fits, strap it up and wear it.
Period.
But yeah, that's really how I feel. I feel like he was a punk. I feel like the mama was wrong because, I mean, he's married, hon. You just got to give it up. You got to give it up.
Now, since we on like this whole marriage, Keely had brought up something that made me think about something. I was watching The Game. It's kind of going off topic. Remember the show The Game with Tia?
Yes.
Who told that? I do.
It's on Netflix now, and season 1.
That it is. And I've been
So
watching.
it was like episode 2, I believe. And she was in med school, and he just started off, the professional football. He made this comment saying, if this football stuff don't work out, we gotta fall back, because he was talking about she need to study, if just in case we need to fall back on your medical thing. So what do y'all think about that? I didn't know how to feel about that. When he said that, I'm like, what?
I feel like it would have been okay if they were married, but I feel like boyfriend girlfriend stuff. Now, this is why I say that. I say that because when you're married to someone, y'all are one. So if I have to, if you're going through something, you need me to bear the brunt of it for a little while, you know what? Okay, because that's what love is. Love is sometimes you're down, sometimes I'm down. So I don't think I would be the type of person that'd be like, oh, husband, if you can't do this, if you need me to help out a little bit more for these 2 months, I have to leave you. I wouldn't do that. But boyfriend girlfriend stuff, absolutely not, because there's no covenant, there's no commitment, there's no there's nothing. So I don't necessarily feel like it. I feel like it wouldn't happen for me, boyfriend, girlfriend wise.
Yeah.
But I feel like husband and wife wise, you know, if like I said, if if you're playing ball and you get hurt and you need me to step up for a little bit
No,
while you
he
recover.
wasn't talking about getting hurt. He just talking about if it just all get taken away. Like if he I can get if you was getting hurt.
I mean,
But
if it gets yes, but you still have to be willing to. You can't just be sitting around doing nothing. Like you have to be working on another plan, working on another career. You know what I mean? Like you can't just be waiting on me to support everything because that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So
I will say this. Okay, the way it was said, I definitely have an issue with it because my choice of studying and as far as I choose my career path, it's not about to be a B plan for us to fall back on for you and your failed dreams. Squashed. Okay, so how he said it, that was wrong. I'm not talking about as far as like if we're married and you need help or whatever the case may be. That's cool. That's all fine and dandy. I have no problem with that. Like I said before, I plan on being equal as far as it goes financially with my husband and doing different stuff. But I'm not a B plan. That's not how that works. I'm not a backup in case something doesn't work out. That's not how this is working. Like I'm not coming home. Like I'm, and this may be for some people, but I'm just not the type to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be a working mom. So, I mean, for some people, my mom did a great job being a stay-at-home mom. I loved her for that. She was there, especially when I needed her. She did everything. Like that was a hardworking woman, and she had 4 kids. So, I mean, staying at home was, that was a job for real. What I am saying is, what you're not gonna do is take my career and put it as a second option. Like, oh, if I don't work out, then we got you. Like, no, we're equal here. If
the way that I think about it,
don't work out.
The way that I don't think he meant it like you're the backup option. I think he kind of meant it as like, if ever, because I know the scene that you're talking about.
It probably meant a different way. I just didn't like the way that it was worded.
But I think the way that he was saying it was not necessarily you're the backup plan. I think he meant it more of like, if there ever comes a time like where if there ever was a time like, we'll still be you're gonna make sure. Can you make sure that you need to do this to make sure that we're straight until I get back on my feet and I don't think he meant to as like she had a secondary she's the secondary. I don't think that's what he meant.
No. I was just saying the way that it was worded wasn't an issue because like the way he worded it, that sounded off. That's why
it sounded so off to me. I was laying there watching. I said, "Wait a minute, did he just say that?"
For who? For who? Being a doctor is a B plan? Shoot, man, if that's the B plan, let me know. Let me know now, because
we're nearing the end of the show.
Are we? Has it been that time? Is it that time? But honestly, if that's the B plan, I mean, that's not a bad option. I just think, what?
That girl kept growing, and we said we at the end of the show.
I thought we said we were nearing the end of the show. See, we gotta communicate.
It's about that time.
We gotta start doing the clap again.
I did the clap, but you didn't get the clap when I did the clap.
I didn't see that. Last time you were like,
I was conspicuous for the audience, like, but you didn't get that, so now I'm just have to tell them it's time.
It's time to go. Yeah, that's the end of my points. I'm done. That was literally all I had left to say. All right. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Be a part of the conversation. Tell us what you think. We love you guys. Peace.
And this is some period.